So it was leaked early on who the announcers were going to be for the 2024 Week 5 regular season. So I'm going to be mentioning here the games and the announcers. So we have Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Atlanta Falcons on Thursday Night Football on Amazon. And you already know who's going to be the Thursday Night Football announcer. It is Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, and Kaylee Hartung. You already knew that, though. We have the game in London on NFL Network at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. They used to have them typically with the noon games. They used to have them with the noon Central, 1 Eastern window. Used to. And then just have, like, if that game was in the United States, they wouldn't have, like, that's your first down score. That you have, like, the first, sometimes, like, the second or third down screw for that times. Not the feature, not like the first or second down screw for, like, Fox or CBS. Like, I mean, sometimes they would if it's nationally televised. They might have, like, the third. CBS was announcing it using their graphics. They would produce the game. Like, CBS would produce the game, but it'd be on NFL Network instead of being like Fox or CBS nationally. That's what it used to be, you know. I remember it used to be in Fox, like Fox, CBS would have the game. It was like, you know, naturally within their slate, they might, like Fox, CBS might get each one a piece, you know, one of them a piece, you know, or one of them a piece. And then it used to be where Fox and CBS, you get like nationally televised game, put early nationally televised. And then they did where it was NFL Network would get one. And now all the London games are NFL Network, like to promote the NFL channel more now. I know they used to have it just Thursday football on NFL Network, and then they had one Thursday packages on like CBS, Fox, like NBC, all stuff they shared. You know, they went around and had the package. You know, should split time with the package. They ended up, you know, putting a few on NFL Network, and then most of them on like the network, like CBS, Fox, NBC, nationally, like on over-the-air television. So yeah, we have. Then we were the 3 games. Now they have 3 London games and 1 game from Germany, and those games are on NFL Network. And then they have 3 on week 16 this year, the NFL season. It is the week of Christmas. On the Saturday, they're having week 16 in the NFL slate. They're having 2 for Christmas that week on and Netflix. 1 on, I think, Amazon Prime Thursday night game. They're having 3 Saturday games on NFL Network. And then they're having 1 on. And then they're having a Sunday and a Monday night. They're having 8 nationally televised games. Extra because of Christmas and stuff. Having Christmas games on Amazon, which usually they weren't never doing though. You know, I thought, you know, but they are. Even though it doesn't follow the tradition, like, you know, Thursday through Monday and that's late, you know. But anyways, we have NFL New York Jets at Minnesota Vikings with Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner. The center reporters are Jamie Earl and Stacey Dales. Usually they don't mention this, but I saw this mention. We have Carolina Panthers at Chicago Bears with Kenny Albert, Jonathan Vilma, and Megan Levy. None of the announcers for this crew have been changed. I know for Fox, the announcers might be changed a little bit because of baseball, of the MLB postseason for baseball. The same announcers. It's not like where like they split calling games in the series. You know, maybe like NBA or NHL does, where maybe they split calling games in the series. Maybe half the series ESPN will call, half the series, TNT will call, or it's like that's with like NHL or NBA. It's the same thing, maybe, but not, but it's but I know baseball they have it where the same announcers call the series because they do back to back. They do like every day or every other day. Yeah, Baltimore Ravens at Cincinnati Bengals. CBS announcers are going to stay the same. We have Kevin Harlan, Chuck Green, and Melanie Collins for that one. Ein Eagle, Charles Davis, Evan Washburn is calling the Buffalo Bills, the Houston Texans, and CBS at 1 p.m. And that's 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. October 6th is also the names. We have Spur Deeds, Amarcha, and TT King Campbell-Walla. I believe I'm not for sure I pronounce that. But that's the Indianapolis Colts at Jacksonville Jaguars. And usually this is getting to be like one of those games where now you're getting down in like the middle, near the end, bottom of the screws for CBS. Typically, is with them is they get a week. I believe they get a full game every week, but it's like not necessarily the worst, not necessarily the lowest game, but the lowest. It's either usually like the lowest game if there's 5 games, or second to lowest for 6 on CBS. Because like the film announcer, there's typically 5 main announce crews every channel has. And if there's a 6th game, I'll have the 6 announce crew fill in. And then we have Miami Dolphins at New England Patriots with Chris Myers, Mark Sanchez, and Christina Pink. Chris Myers is now moving up to fill in for Adam Amin. And that is because Adam Amin is, I'm assuming, calling MLB baseball for Fox or FS1. That's where the MLB, they're calling the divisional round games, as Fox has rights to the divisional round series. Is one of the leagues they have the rights to. Like ESPN has rights to the wild card playoff. They had rights before. They had rights to one of the wild card series games, or both, I believe. Maybe it was both when they had a single game wild card. Now that the wild card is a best of 3, and there's 8 teams in it, and there's 6 teams in the MLB playoffs now instead of, but now there is. There used to only be 5, and then it was like a one game play-in, and and then you play the 1 seed. But not no more. They do 6 now. 1 and 2 get the buys. 3 plays 6, and 4 plays 5. And then they have it where the higher seed hosts the whole series. So, but then Joe Amamin is calling one of the games for MLB, and then they'll call like the World Series, and if the World Series or like one of the championship series overlaps the day of football, then those announcers won't call football. But if they don't overlap the day of football, and I don't know if they will or not. But even if they don't, I'm just saying they probably have plans in place in case they don't. In case even if they get a series that does overlap, football, those are all up like NFL, maybe overlaps college football. It's either overlap in college football or NFL one of the days, so on Fox or FS1. I know they have a spot open in Fox, so I believe my local Fox is. Maybe it's for on the MLB games, and one on FS1 maybe. Who knows how they're doing it? Maybe they're having a couple games that overlap each other and MLB is in the schedule. But Chris Myers is filling in for Am Amin, who's usually with who's with Mark Sanchez this year typically. Cleveland Browns at Washington Commanders with Jason Benetti, Greg Olsen, and Pam Oliver. Usually it's Joe Davis and Greg Olsen this year. After Greg Olsen was with Kevin Burkhardt, he had to move down to be with Joe Davis, the number 2 announcer. Number 2 announcer. Number 2 play-by-play announcer. He had to be presumably because Tom Brady moved in with Kevin Burkhardt, and Tom Brady was paid a lot of money. And obviously that's why to be there, and that's why obviously you want Tom Brady obviously as number 1 because he paid so much money. You want him calling like the bottom tiers games. Jason Benetti is typically like a college announcer, I believe, for Fox. I know Chris Myers this year is like a NASCAR in the studio host. Now I know he is, or at least he was. And then I know when he's not doing, typically he is, especially when he's not doing on foot. Maybe because he's doing like the truck series and maybe like the cup, like Xfinity series, he might be doing that. When there's no football on. I see he's not doing football. When she's not doing football, they're when Fox is their NASCAR package. Typically they have the truck series, so you can do that like Friday nights typically and do NFL villains. But Jason Benetti is moving up to the number 2 just as a temporary villain for Joe Davis. And then we have Kevin Kugler and Daryl Johnston with Laura Oakman on Las Vegas Raiders hosting at the Denver Broncos game on Fox. That's typically a CBS game, but CBS, you typically will have games where CBS announcers or NFC only games, or games featuring 2 NFC teams will be on CBS, and 2 teams featuring AFC teams will be on Fox. A game featuring 2 AFC teams will be on. Usually the AFC games are on CBS, and then the NFC games are on Fox. But sometimes you will have an NFC or 2 NFC teams will be on CBS in one game featuring 2 NFC teams, and a game featuring 2 AFC teams on Fox. Sometimes you will. And then the games that are featuring an AFC team and an NFC team, you'll have them be either or. And that's typically the ones where either or games you typically have on Fox or CBS. Typically. Not always, but typically. More so. And then we have Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco 49ers. This is case where I thought, based on the matchups, I thought Tom Brady could be in the late window. The 4:05 in the late window. It's not like a late window where it's a late window with a double header, or Fox is a double header. No, I'm talking about Fox single window. Fox late single window double header. And yeah, based on what Fox has, it's Cardinals at Arizona Cardinals at San Francisco 49ers, Las Vegas Raiders at Denver Broncos, Cleveland Browns at Washington Commanders, main offense at New England Patriots. And then we have the Carolina Panthers at Chicago Bears. I mean, maybe you go to Cleveland Browns at Washington Commanders, but that would be the only other one maybe he might go to, but I think with just the more like the eyes on this team, it's like, you might get the more market viewership, maybe the market just naturally for this game anyways, maybe. And we have Green Bay Packers at Los Angeles Rams with CBS has the double. They usually have the even amount of doubleheaders, where CBS is above a doubleheader. There's 8 18 weeks of the season now, 17 games. So typically CBS will have 9, and Fox will have 9, or 8 and 8. It would used to be 8, 9 and 9, but with the extra week, now they have where it's 10 and 10. So there was a week at the end of the season because one would get 10, one would get 9, because they get the one last week of the season always. So because of the playoff picture, so they just give you an extra week throughout someone in the season or both have a late game at 4:25 Eastern. And Shenanigans with Tracy Overson this week had the Green Bay Packers at Los Angeles Rams. And then we have New York Giants at Seattle Seahawks with Andrew Callan, Tiki Barber, Jason McCourty, and AJ Ross. And then we have Mike Trico, Chris Collinsworth, and Melissa Stark, typically who comment Sunday footballs. Dallas Cowboys at Pittsburgh Steelers, or all football games on NBC for NFL. That is. And that's Sunday Night Football. Then Monday Night Football, Joe Buck, Drake Bell, and Lisa Salters are going to call New Orleans Saints at Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football at 8:15 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.